Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Jacob Wall Fishing. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video. You haven't done that. I know you haven't done that. I think I said that in my last video. But like this video if you enjoy the content that you're about to see. And then please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I've grown substantially in the last couple weeks. I know I said that in my last video about my Harris chain recap, but I just want to say thank you again to every single one of you guys subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me, and it motivates me to continue to want to do this. And so I was sitting here today on the couch, and I was getting my gear prepped and ready for Martin. Let me kind of give you a pan here. I got all kinds of gear laying all over the living room. I'm going to set you guys back down. So I got all kinds of gear laying around, as you guys saw there, and I just kind of wanted to explain to you guys how I prepare for a tournament before I even get there. And I'm not going to go over everything right now. I just wanted this to be short and sweet, but I really just wanted to talk about how I prepare my gear, my rods, my reels, my baits, my organization, my boat, just kind of how I get my gear in check for each event and how I differ that per lake that I go to for each event. So I'll just kind of start out with how I did it for my last event, and then I'll roll into this event and how I altered things. I'll kind of run through it quickly. But for my last event on Harris, I prepared the boat a lot differently than I am for this event. So for there, I had more stick baits, like your typical Florida plastics. I had straight tail Cinco styles, or Gambler, makes the ace or the fat ace. Those style worms. I had a lot of like burner worms or speed worms. Just a lot more of that June bug, black and blue, kind of bulkier, bigger plastics. And then I had a lot of vibrating jigs. I had lipless cranks. I just had more grass fishing tackle, more kind of tannic or dirtier water tackle. With that being said, I still had other stuff in the boat. It wasn't like I just completely eliminated everything else. I always want to keep some other, stuff in the boat. Maybe I had my clear water jerkbait colors, or maybe I had, some clear or kind of more natural variant colors of baits, just to, be able to alter or change if I needed to. But jumping right into what I'm doing now here for Martin. So with Martin, I went down there and pre-practiced, before our cutoff, and I got a feel for that lake a little bit. And from what I could see, you could fish dirty water if you wanted to, like really dirty water, couple inch visibility, all the way to clear water. I mean, I saw visibility in the 5, 6, 7 foot range maybe. And so with that kind of being said, I have a much wider variation of baits, but I'm not gonna, I'm gonna clear the boat of all those big bulky Florida plastics. I don't need that anymore, so I cleared those out. But what I really want to, explain to you guys with my plastics this season, show you, is this. This is pretty much what I've been resorting to for my plastics, and what this is, I don't even know what it's called, but it's a Plano. It's made by Plano. And it's a worm kind of wallet holder deal. But as you can see there, it unravels and it holds, it's got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pouches. And they're pretty, they can expand pretty wide. I don't know how many packs in this one I've got, maybe 7 or 8 packs. But you can put a lot of plastics in here. And what this forces me to do is it forces me to limit the amount of plastics I bring. So what I've been doing for my events this season, this is something I started doing this year. What I've been doing is, say I go to a lake and I think I might throw a brush hog, or I think I might throw a Cinco, or I think I might need a Gambler Little Easy, or a Gambler Easy Swimmer, or you name it, a fluke, whatever it might be. So I'll take a pack, there's a pack of flukes in there, a couple packs of flukes, there's a different color fluke. And so I'll throw a couple packs in there. I don't need to bring 47 different colors of flukes and go absolutely insane with it. I've got, 2 different colors of flukes in here. I've got a light and I've got a darker, and that kind of covers my bases. And if I want to try a fluke, I have flukes, but I don't have an excessive amount. And then I've got same deal, I've got some speed craws, I've got some burner craws, but I've only got a couple packs of each. I've got some finesse worms, down here I've got more craws, I've got some swim baits. You get the point. I'm not bringing a humongous amount of everything. And then so what I do is, say I go out there and practice and I start keying in on the fish on a certain bait, then I can maybe switch out, bring a few less packs of one thing and add more packs of that other thing that was working. But this is what I've been doing this season for plastics. It really limits what I bring on the boat. Very, very seamless, very easy to pull out and flap it on the front deck and see everything at once and see where my baits are and grab it. I don't have to think about multiple different places at once. That's really nice. That kind of makes everything pretty, seamless, makes it a lot easier to keep my plastics organized. So then as far as my rods go, I tie up a variety of rods. I think I'm going to have 20 rods tied up for this practice going into it. All different line sizes, all different baits. And basically for Martin, I'm going to have dirty water stuff and I'm going to have clear water stuff. And I'm going to have stuff in between. So I'm going to have 20-pound test with a flipping hook and a little bit, like a 1/2 ounce or 5/8 ounce weight. And for a Texas rig, which I could put a dark plastics on there for darker or dirtier water, switch to a lighter color for lighter water. I've got chartreuse spinner bait with an orange kicker blade for shallow dirty water. I've got a little shallow diving square bill for dirty water. And then I've got all my clear water stuff, which I got little secrets from being on the West Coast that I don't want to talk about. But I got some standard clear water stuff, your drop shot, your underspin, your shaky head, Nico rig, I'll say that. There's some other stuff mixed in there, but I'm pretty much just rigging stuff up that I think is going to work. And what I like to do is do this at home. I try to get everything dialed. I try to check my line. I try to make sure my baits are on point. And I try to make sure that if I'm going to, think about something on the water, like, oh man, I really wish I had this, or I want to try this, I want to have that tied on in the rod locker. And that way, if that pops into my mind, like, man, I really want to try a bull shad swim bait up against this dock over here, I can pull out a rod with a bull shad swim bait on it, throw it up against that dock and work it out. Or, oh man, I wish I had a deep diving crankbait. Pull my rod out of the rod locker with a deep diving crankbait, fire it out there on that deep brush pile or rock break or whatever it might be. So I'm armed and ready for anything that I could face on Lake Martin. As far as other stuff goes, I could talk to you about all kinds of stuff, but really I just wanted to talk about how I get everything prepared ahead of time. I want to make sure everything is dialed in before I get on the lake. It's a pet peeve of mine to get to wherever I'm fishing or to get on the lake and wish that the boat was more organized, or wish that I had a rod tied up with something, or think, man, I wish this rod had 14-pound test instead of 20-pound. And then it's like, most of the time, very rarely do you actually sit down and reline that rod. At least I don't. I will typically just kind of work with it, even though it's not what I want. And so I try to make sure everything that I've got on the boat for that particular tournament is exactly how I want it ahead of time. And that way I don't have those moments where I'm sitting out there and it's like, man, I wish I had this way. I try to eliminate those moments. And then as far as my tackle goes, I'm going to scan over here again for you guys, but I'll actually walk and show you. So as far as my tackle goes, I've got everything this year, primarily everything. I mean, as you can see, there's a couple boxes on the top here that aren't, but primarily everything I've got this year is in a waterproof box. I moved to Alabama like a little over a year ago, and it's crazy to me how fast stuff rusts. So that's a huge advantage, is waterproof boxes. I mean, you still get moisture in there. You just kind of have to keep an eye on it. I ruin tackle all the time. I don't know how. I'm pretty meticulous about trying to keep everything dry, but somehow it gets water in there and it gets ruined. But I've tried to eliminate that as much as I can by waterproof boxes. I try to keep everything super duper organized. They're all facing the other direction, of course. But as you can see, this year I used packing tape, or like a clear, packing tape. And I put one piece down and then I write on top of it, and then I put another piece over top of that. So it won't come off. That's just Sharpie on top of one piece of packing tape. But I got all my boxes labeled. You know, I've got, you know, as you can see, I've got small square bills, jerk baits, or more jerk baits. These are pointers and mega bass. You know, large square bills, wiggleworts, Normans. You can see, I mean, those are crankbaits, hard bait stuff. You know, here I've got some pitching jigs. I've got some more jigs. I'm just trying to keep everything really, really organized. Trying to eliminate stuff like this. See this pile of junk? See these loose bags of plastics? You know, see this stuff down here? I don't like this. This is all going to get organized, even though it's a, you know, you may think, wow, that's not very much. That makes my brain go crazy. I want that in a place that I know where it all is. I don't want, you know, say I want a Colorado blade underspin, weedless underspin. I don't want it sitting in a pile somewhere that I can't remember. I don't want to have to dig around in the boat. I want it to be, here's my underspin box. I need to organize it, but I want it to be in here with all my other underspins. So I try to make everything real seamless, as you can tell. And let's see, what else do I have to show you? That's pretty much it, really, guys. I just wanted to make this quick. Trying to think if I said I was going to cover anything that I didn't. No, I mean, I think that's really it. As far as on the boat goes, you know, like I said, I try to keep it all pretty organized. Try not to bring an excess amount of stuff, but with that being said, you always end up bringing more than you're going to need. But just getting everything prepped for Martin. Really excited to get down there for this derby. And I like that lake. From what I saw, it's going to be a completely different lake than Harris. It's going to be a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be a much smaller weight kind of a tournament. It's not going to be as big of a potential to catch a mega bag as down on the Harris chain. I mean, if I catch 12 to 13, 14 pounds a day, I'm going to be extremely excited. I mean, that's going to be real solid down there on Martin. So with that being said, kind of change my mindset around a little bit. Don't need to be shooting for 20 pounds, even though obviously 20 pounds is great. But we're shooting more for in the 12 to 14 pound range, you know, trying to keep it manageable. Even though that may not sound like a lot on Martin, when I went down there, it was a lot more difficult than I would have hoped to catch a fish over 2 pounds. With that being said, that lake is chock full of fish. I mean, I caught a whole bunch. It's just difficult to catch larger ones. So I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. We're going to try to figure them out down there and practice. Practice starts on Sunday. Today's Wednesday. And I'm going to try to get this video edited today and get this up. But yeah, I'm going to get finished up with organizing all this tackle. Put away these, see, this is what I don't like. Put away these loose baits right here. This needs to all go into a box. And get everything put back in the boat, get everything organized, cleaned up, and get this video edited up for you guys. But anyways, thanks again. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you maybe learned something. I know this is kind of a spur of the moment video, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a waste of your time, but I know there's probably a few guys out there that are going to appreciate this and gonna like to know how it is that I organize my boat. And I said guys, but I mean guys and gals. Who knows? I mean, a gal out there might think this is really cool too. That's the great part about fishing. Anybody can do it. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy the content. I'm going to quit rambling here. I just feel like I'm going on and on and on. But thanks again, guys. Like I said, if you like this video, like it and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to know when I'm putting up more videos. I'm going to keep trying to roll content out. Like I said, it won't be weekly, but it'll be you know, monthly, maybe twice, you know, bi-monthly, twice a month. But anyways, thanks guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace out.